once again for another Chicago Bears pregame show right here on the Kanika Sports Channel. I am your host, Kenny, and I am joined once again on this pregame show by the one and the only Nika, everybody. Good morning, Nika.
Good morning, Kenny, and good morning to our new and returning viewers. Welcome to the Rivalry weekend.
Welcome to Rivalry Week indeed, as we are looking ahead at the Bears game against the Green Bay Packers, which will be at Lambeau Field in this late Sunday afternoon. Nika, week 14 of the NFL schedule, and of course, only first place in the NFC North is on the line as the Packers and Bears get set to meet for the first time this year.
Wow.
The first of two matchups, which will be happening in the next 3 weeks.
Lucky us.
Lucky us, man. Are you sweating yet, everybody? Woo! Well, if this is your first time here, please know that this is the pregame show, and we will be breaking down this matchup against the Packers, looking at the key injuries on both sides of the football, Kenny's keys to victory, that's me, and the odds and ends, everybody. We are going to be checking in on what the betting markets are telling us is going to happen at the end of this game. But first, if this is your first time here, please do us a favor. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell, especially for our mascot, Frexy. Check out that pooch face, everybody. She is the number one Bears doggo fan out there. I swear to goodness.
She is, and thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we also like to do this on our pregame show, Nika, which is to take a look around Chicago Bears social media land. And there's quite a bit to get to this week, even outside of the entire hot dog incident. If you don't know about it, Ben Johnson's shirtless post-game speech last week yielded the city of Chicago once again free hot dogs courtesy of the Wiener Circle. And they gave those out on Tuesday in very chilly conditions. I saw some Bears fans partaking in the Ben Johnson wardrobe by trying to do the hot dog challenge shirtless.
In the cold weather.
In the cold weather. I'll stick to my Arizona desert, even though it's been like 45 in the morning and chilly. That does not sound appetizing at all. And I'm sure the hot dog is not 100% uncured either. Just going to go out on a limb and say that.
Unlikely.
All right. Outside of the entire hot dog thing, we had some big news this week in Bears land. We had a Bears player win NFC Defensive Player of the Month, Nika. The month of November. That was Nahshon, Wright, the cornerback. And as you can see here, his stat line for the month of November, 3 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and 1 Defensive Player of the Month.
Wow.
Congratulations to Nahshon Wright. You know, he finally got the game ball last week in Philadelphia, and Ben Johnson even said before he gave it to him that it was kind of an oversight that he hadn't gotten one a couple previous weeks. And you can see here he had just a hell of a month. So congrats to him.
Cool.
Huge to see him stepping up. And the Bears also posted a little montage here. They said, please retweet to the Pro Bowl vote. And that's how I guess you vote for the Pro Bowl this year, is you retweet other people's tweets with these hashtags. That's kind of interesting. But Nahshon Wright has been on an absolute heater, and they just showed a little photo montage of some of his great plays. You know, he had 2 awesome highlight reel interceptions, one against the Vikings and one against the Steelers in the opening moments of that game, if you'll remember. So those were captured on this montage, and the fumble recovery against the Eagles. And yeah, you are number 1 for the month of November, Nahshon Wright. So
that's
congratulations. Right. And the Bears, by the way, went on an absolute heater. They went undefeated in the month of November. 5 weeks, by the way.
Yes.
They get the rare 5-0 month, which I don't think they've done anything like that since I saw the 1960s.
Oh, it's been a while then.
Well, because there's not a lot of months with 5 games for starters. And then to actually win all of them, it doesn't happen every year even, I bet, where you would have maybe 5 games in a month. I don't know. I haven't looked at the schedule that closely enough over the years to know that for sure. But
well, normally it's just 4 weeks, so you have only 4 Sundays to play.
Normally, but it depends on where if like the Sunday is on the 1st
Sure.
and you have 31 days in the month, then you might wind up with 5 Sundays. So
Okay. That's
anyhow,
cool.
all right, cool stuff, great stuff. The Bears, Nahshon Wright, player of the month defensively.
All
DJ
right.
Moore sat down for an interview this week, and he wound up getting the surprise treatment, though it was not the Nickelodeon Junior style treatment that Colston Loveland got earlier this year. He instead was greeted by Jarrett Payton and his own family, his wife and kids. They came in and surprised him. Middle of the interview, and I think he knew something was up immediately. He started looking over. He's like smiling. You should go check this video out on social media, but I captured a couple screenshots here anyways, just to convey the story for you all. And what wound up happening here is that Jarrett Payton was there to present DJ Moore in front of his family with the 2025 Chicago Bears Walter Payton Man of the Year Award nomination.
Oh, that's nice.
Each team nominates somebody for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. As far as like, this is very similar to the baseball Roberto Clemente Award,
Okay.
about giving back to your community. And Walter Payton in the NFL was known for much of the same throughout Chicagoland. And in fact, the whole Super Bowl shuffle was orchestrated based on a promise that it was for feeding Chicago's neediest families. And that's why Walter Payton says in the opening lyrics of the Super Bowl shuffle, "We are here to feed the needy." It was literally like on the head. It wasn't like feeding needy football fans. It was feeding needy kids and children and families in the holidays. It was December.
nice.
So anyways, this is now carried on by the NFL itself.
Okay.
And every team in the league nominates one player for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. And then one player will be chosen later. Not guaranteed to be a Bear or DJ Moore this year or anything like that.
So
he
who
is
votes?
nominated.
Who votes for the player?
You know, I have no idea.
Oh, so we don't know how it's done. Okay.
I have no idea, but here is the official Chicago Bears post. No one more deserving, DJ Moore with the two O's, no one more deserving. We're proud to name DJ Moore as our 2025 Walter Payton Man of the Year, Walter Payton Man of the Year Challenge. And you can see here it's presented by Nationwide. Of course, they are on our side, Nika.
Of course they are. Okay.
All right. Well,
Nice.
congratulations to DJ Moore. That's a nice thing. You know, I don't want to diminish it by being sarcastic there. Anyways, let's move on. We got more hardware handed out this week. It was the Player of the Week, the FedEx Air and Ground Player of the Week. This is the second Bear to
Okay.
win this award this year. Caleb Williams, of course, won it earlier for his game against Dallas in Week 3. Here is DeAndre Swift in Week 13. Winning Player of the Week, 125 yards, rushing on 18 carries, and a touchdown versus the Eagles. You know, this had to be a toss-up between him and Monungai. They had almost identical numbers. Monungai actually wound up with more carries and a couple more yards, but nevertheless, it is
DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift with the hardware. Congratulations to him. He had 138 total scrimmage yards, by the way, and a touchdown in this game against the Eagles last Friday. That was, of course, Black Friday when we blacked out the Eagles basically at
Totally.
their house.
Yep.
Not a total blackout. They did score 15 on us,
They
including
did.
8, which came in the I'm sorry. 6, which came in the final 4 minutes of the game. But nevertheless, here we are. That is an award that was given out twice last week, by the way. I don't know if this is always given out twice every week. I haven't looked closely enough, but I did happen to notice it this week because the other player of the week was on our opponent for this week, and that was Jordan Love with his 4 touchdown passes against Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. Ironically, none of the FedEx players of the week played on Sunday this week. They played on Thursday and Friday, respectively. So had to go back in time a little bit and forget about all those Sunday games to find the winner. And yeah, here we are, Nika. And that brings us to a good place to turn to Rivalry Week, everybody. It is Rivalry Week. It is the Bears against their vaunted rivals, the Green Bay Packers. The Bears will be traveling north, and it is a big week ahead for the Bears. And that's what they tweeted out. And here's Ben Johnson. Quote, "It's a big week. We know how important this rivalry is. Ben Johnson referenced the Packers when he first got this job, much like a lot of Bears head coaches have. But he did it a little bit differently. He mentioned how when he was with Detroit, he enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. And Matt LaFleur is the head coach of your Green Bay Packers. And a little bit of a jab there. It wasn't pointed that way at Detroit and Minnesota. It was pointed that way at Green Bay specifically. Knowing his audience, perhaps? Ben Johnson? He seems to know his audience, doesn't he?
Uh-huh.
He has a little bit of a taste for theatricality.
Oh, that's good.
Nevertheless, Micah Parsons, on the flip side, knew Green Bay Packer. He didn't even start the season with them.
I know.
He's adding fuel in a weird way to this rivalry this week. He said, quote, "I just don't like them because I just see the disrespect that comes from the Bears.
What disrespect?
I play for respect.
What?
You got to earn someone's respect." I don't understand where this is coming from, but I guess it's just whatever locker room material you need to give yourself sometimes as a player. I don't know. I can tell you right now, I see some disrespect already in this statement from him. I don't even see him using "the Bears." Like he's saying "the Bears." It's not "the Bears." It's "the Bears." All right? Get that straight, Micah Parsons. Okay? Just let's clear that up from the start.
Yeah,
okay?
If you're going for the rivalry, you might as well just use "the Bears."
The Bears.
Exactly.
It's not "the." It's "duh." Okay? Get that through your numbskull. Okay? I know you get hit in the head a lot, but geez, can you get this straight? All right? No, I just want to say this is just flat out weird, and yet it's par for the course for the 2025 NFL season, Nika, because it has been a weird season. The Bears are in first place heading into Week 14 into this matchup against Green Bay. Nobody had this.
No, is that what he means by disrespecting?
I don't know. Maybe we're disrespecting the NFL establishment media by being in this position in the first place.
Yep,
I mean, and we haven't earned it
go.
against them on the field. I don't know. Hey, maybe you should have beaten Dallas like we did, and then you wouldn't have a tie to your name, and then you'd be tied with
Victory,
us.
sure.
So, I mean, blame yourself.
Again, like you said, it's a locker room material.
I bulletin board material,
Whatever.
It is going to be cold this Sunday, Nika. Look at the Bears practicing out at their winter wonderland. It's not even snowing, and I can just look at these pictures and know that it feels bone-chilling cold out there. You
And
can
then factor the wind.
I gotta feel like this cold weather might give the Bears an advantage in this game. More on that when we get to Kenny's keys to victory. But first, let's get into some injuries ahead of this one, Nika, because boy, oh boy, look at the Packers. They have a laundry list of injuries right now. We're gonna break down what ones might be real and which ones are just bulletin board material, I guess, heading into this one. I want to say before we get into any of this, I expect everyone that has a pulse on Sunday morning that can walk to play in this game, okay?
So wait, you need a pulse, or you gotta get a pulse?
If
and
you're
walk?
not dead, you're going to get dressed for this one, okay, boys? I mean, even if it's just to decoy people on the sidelines and be like, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? Like, what's happening?
It's rivalry week.
It's
Come on.
rivalry week, and it's a big one. And
Yep.
first place is on the line, which hasn't happened since, what, 2013, they said? Something like that?
Something like that.
We're starved, everybody. Well, the Packers are like banged up all around. Look at this
Okay.
list of names. The two big names that stand out to me are Dontavian Wicks. He has been limited in practice with an ankle injury. He had 2 big touchdowns against the Lions. I would not expect him not to play for any reason. So don't get your hopes up, Bears fans. He is looking to stay hot against the Bears and probably catch more touchdown passes this Sunday. So I fully expect him to play. Josh Jacobs, their starting running back, is also on the injury report this week. He has been limited in practice with a knee injury, but again, the key word here is limited. He has been suiting up and participating. He hasn't been sitting it out.
Okay.
Can't say that for everyone on this list, but for most of the people, there are just a lot of names listed. Jordan Love even makes an appearance on the Green Bay injury report with a left shoulder injury, though he is listed as a full participant both Wednesday and Thursday. I mean, there's nothing there.
Okay. So he might have just got banged up.
It might be carryover from a previous week. You know, like I haven't followed it that closely. I'm going to be honest. And, you know, we've sort of been thrust into this season with the Bears. We were just kind of following them for fun in a sense because I wanted to be a part of this Ben Johnson ride. And here we are Week 14 relevant.
Sure.
I didn't necessarily expect it. So
The ride is getting more serious.
it is. It is. Now, the one thing that I want to point out that you won't see on the Packers injury report is the name Tucker Kraft. He is out for the season for Green Bay, and he was their starting tight end and a big piece of their offense, and he is since now missing,
Okay.
and it's a big loss for them. I don't want to underestimate how big of a missing piece that is. The tight ends combined that have replaced him had one catch against the Lions. That's it. He's a guy that used to put up, 5 to 7 catches a game and possibly a touchdown here and there. Like, he's just a big red zone weapon. You've seen how Brady used Gronkowski over the years
Sure.
and all these other big tight ends, and the Bears using Colston Loveland, and they haven't utilized him in the way I feel like they should have yet. Even Cole Kmet had a big catch last week against Philadelphia where he got a little bit of separation, and then it's like a jump ball between him and a smaller guy. You take the big guy every time.
Well, what's wrong with him?
Well, he has knee surgery. He's out for the
I see.
year. He's done. So I was just pointing out that he's not even on the injury report, but that's a big piece that the Packers are missing.
Sure.
All right, well, let's move on to the Bears, who have a little bit of a concern here growing. And that concern is of one Rome Odunze. Not all roads are leading to Rome on Sunday in Green Bay, Nika. Rome Odunze has not practiced Wednesday or Thursday this week with a foot injury. Apparently, it's been bothering him for a few weeks, and we've seen a decline in Rome Odunze's production since he had those 6 touchdowns, I believe, in our first 6 or 7 games. He's kind of fallen off a little bit. He's been having more trouble getting open, and we've seen the Bears' passing game, I think, on the whole, suffer because of it.
So what's wrong with his toe?
Well, he has a foot injury. I'm not sure if he has a toe injury or a foot or an ankle, exactly it's not specified what exactly it is. I just know he's not practicing. I'm waiting to see if he gets a limited time in today and if they're just trying to give him a couple extra days to
Rest
off of it and rest up. On the defensive side of the ball, Tyreek Stevenson continues to have an injury-plagued season. He's now not practicing with a hip injury. He did not play last week after most of the Bears' secondary came back, Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson. Kyler Gordon not even listed on the injury report anymore, and Jalen Johnson listed with a groin, but still a full participant Wednesday and Thursday. The worst of them seems to be behind us. Also want to point out TJ Edwards, limited in practice with his hamstring and hand injury. Good news to see him getting back involved. I don't know if he's going to play, but Noah Sewell is also full participation in practice the last 2 days with his elbow injury at the linebacker position. The good news is the Bears are getting healthier back at linebacker. They got their secondary guys back last week. Linebacker, they need almost all hands on deck for this game. So that is good news. Hopefully Rome is just getting some rest, and we'll find out more today about his status for Sunday. But keep your fingers crossed, folks. All right, with that, let's turn into Kenny's Keys to Victory. Hey, everybody, that's me, Kenny. I got some keys that I want to share with you all ahead of this game for the Bears to win on Sunday. But I want to preface this by saying the cold weather is going to be a factor in this game, Nika.
Of course.
It is predicted to be around 20 degrees or so at kickoff, with a steady decline into the lower teens / upper single digits. Yikes. Being from Chicago, both of us know exactly what that feels like. That's the kind of cold where it almost stops feeling cold, where your boogers freeze instantly.
Yeah, but every time you get hit, you feel it twice as much.
And if the wind is the cause of this, even in the slightest, you will feel it.
Oh, definitely.
You will feel it. So if you are participating in this game outdoors somehow, please dress accordingly. If you are invading Lambeau Field, please dress accordingly.
Yes.
It is going to be crazy kind of cold. And by the time this game ends, the sun will have long departed our world for the day in Wisconsin.
So it's going to be cold and chilly.
It will be. Having said that, my biggest key to victory in this game is for the Bears to control the clock with their running game. They have superseded expectations this year, have vaunted themselves into the number 2 spot in all of NFL rushing yards. We see yards per game. The Bears rank 6th, and time of possession, they also rank 6th. They have a decided advantage here over Green Bay, who rank 13th and 15th, respectively, in yards per game and time of possession per game. Points per game, we have a slight edge over Green Bay. They don't get as many yards as we do, but they do convert those opportunities into points more than we do, which I feel like is a little bit of their experience now. They've been in this system for a few years with Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur, so they're not at the same place that Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams are going into this game, right?
I think that might be the biggest factor.
Nevertheless, we do score more points than them per game, and it shows you how real the Ben Johnson effect is, and it shows me that by Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams' second and third years together, we have a lot to get excited about. But that's not here, that's not there. This is a game in this kind of weather that's going to be won at the line of scrimmage. That's what my heart and that's what my gut tell me. And that means that this is going to be a psychological battle of a football game early on. And
it's already started.
It's important that the Bears win this battle on the field. Yes, you're right. It has started with Ben Johnson and with Micah Parsons and the locker room material and the fandoms and the radio stations. I mean, if you thought this rivalry could ever die, it will never die, because the second something relevant happens like this, it's born all over again.
Yeah.
And everyone's talking about the 1920s and the 1930s and the frozen tundra and all that. But here we are, 2025, and we're relevant again. Bears, Packers, baby. It will happen. And as soon as it does, everything comes out again. All the hatred, all the rivalry.
And it's time for the Bears to flip the script on the Green Bay Packers.
It is. It is. I've endured it enough during my lifetime. You know, since the Bears won the Super Bowl, really, in 1985, the whole script has been flipped. We had Brett Favre dominate the 90s. We had Aaron Rodgers dominate the 2000s and some of the 2000 teens. And now here we are. You know, we have
and Jordan Love
kind of fixed our franchise a little bit temporarily, I will say, because of Ben Johnson and the coaching matters. We see a lot of our draft picks even improving under Ben Johnson here, that maybe it's time to reevaluate some of those things.
Sure.
Nevertheless, this is, like I said, a psychological battle, and it's important that the Bears win this battle early against Green Bay, just like they did against Philadelphia. The Bears came out and made a statement early on against the Eagles. They ran it down their throats, scored a touchdown, and I don't think the Eagles ever recovered from that.
Well, they tried by the
They tried, of course. Everyone's
Sure.
going to try. Everyone's going to try. No one's ever going to give up.
No,
But you can leave them still scratching their heads at the end of the game like, what the hell just happened?
Yes.
And I feel like that's what the Bears did to the Eagles on Black Friday. They didn't know what happened to them at the end of the game. They got hit.
Yeah.
And they didn't know how to handle it. And that's what the Bears' secret weapon is this year, is that they're mean sons of bitches on the line of scrimmage. I'm sorry to say it.
They are the Bears. They go and do the Bear thing. Exactly.
They are getting it done up front, and they've cut down on their offensive line penalties, and that's been so huge for them. So they have to keep playing tight, and they have to win this battle of wills at the beginning of this game in order to have a chance in this one. I firmly believe that. And along with that, they need to figure out Micah Parsons early in this game, Nika. Micah Parsons is a physical beast of a man. He is even immortalized here in this comic book that the Green Bay Packers tweeted out. Micah the Menace. I mean, he looks like the damn Hulk on the cover of a comic book here. I don't know if they're trying more psychological warfare on us with the comic book cover. Don't fall for it. He's not a quarterback magnet, okay? Just the cover of the comic book says that.
That's fine. So they made a comic book cover for their players. That's awesome.
They did, and it says
cool.
now playing Enter Sandman, so you can have like the Metallica song in your head, like, and you can be looking at the cover, and you can have a whole vibe going just from a tweet. It's pretty cool.
That's nice.
No, seriously, they need to figure out Micah Parsons early in this game and figure out what the Packers are gonna try and do defensively. Everything they do defensively, I feel like funnels through Micah Parsons, and the Bears should not be afraid to double team him here. You know, like just sick two of your offensive linemen on him and figure out how to block the rest of the guys with whatever you have remaining.
But do this early.
Do this early. Make him frustrated. Take him almost out of the game. And this is what I'm talking about with the psychology. You know he's going to be coming in gunning, and he's already kind of made his feelings known to the press. So
go for it.
I would say double team him right off the bat, frustrate him, make him
make mistakes,
frustrated. Exactly. And everything else will take care of itself. As far as both quarterbacks go, I want to turn our attentions to the men that will be under center in this game, Jordan Love and Caleb Williams. If you look at their seasonal numbers, I got to be honest, completion percentage aside, we're looking at two very identical quarterbacks right now. And I don't know if that says more good about Caleb Williams or more bad about where Jordan Love's development is at, because he's had more time than Caleb has.
He has.
His completion percentage maybe reflects that. He's at 67%, but I will point out he's not at the 70% standard that Ben Johnson made for the Bears this year. And Jordan Love had more time. Now, everything else being equal, Caleb with 2,722 yards, Jordan Love 2,794 yards. I mean, he's got 70 more yards passing than him. 17 touchdown passes for Caleb compared to 19 for Jordan Love. Not a big difference there. 5 interceptions for Caleb versus 3 interceptions for Jordan Love. So not a huge difference there that I'm seeing. And I'm not going to say that Caleb's numbers are just better, but I mean, they're not far apart either. And when you look at yards and yardage per attempt and everything like that, they're relatively close.
I noticed also Jordan Love is not necessarily a running quarterback. He does run, but he's not your typical running quarterback the way Caleb is.
He's not. He doesn't have that Houdini scramble
ability,
gene or whatever they want to call it. He doesn't do it quite as much, at least. I'm not gonna say that he never runs or never leaves the pocket, but he doesn't do it as much as Caleb does. And I think by contrast, I would argue also that Caleb does it too much sometimes and doesn't find the open receiver quick enough before he has to do all those Houdini moves and try and scramble, yada, yada, yada. So having said all that, I think the quarterback play is going to be important in this game, but I don't know if it's going to be what decides the game, especially when you have weather conditions like this. It'll be interesting to see how everything fares compared to the Philadelphia game. The Philadelphia game, we had huge winds, almost 40 miles an hour at times, with a steady presence of over 20 miles an hour. I don't think we have the same kind of winds forecasted in this game, but we do have lower temperatures. So we'll have to wait and see how it affects both quarterbacks. They should both be fine in this kind of weather. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't expect it to be too much of a factor, to be honest, when it comes to passing. I just think it's going to be more of a factor when it comes to the running game and the line of scrimmage and winning that battle. If you can move the other team's bodies, the defense for the Bears need to stop Jordan Love from getting into a rhythm in this game. I don't want to see that early. That's the one thing he does have over Caleb is that high completion percentage. And I could just see him nickel and diming us down the field all day long with the way the Bears have been kind of playing defense, relying on the turnovers. They have been giving up some plays, especially when they have leads. It feels like they switch into this more kind of prevent style defense where they don't want to give up the long play, but then they start giving up too much underneath and giving teams too much breathing room. We saw this with Philadelphia last week at the end of the game. The Bears were up 24-9, and Philly, with 6.5 minutes left, just kind of marched right down the field and scored a touchdown against us. Luckily, they missed the 2-point conversion. Otherwise, we would have had a one-score game on our hands with 4 minutes left, and that's too scary.
Yes.
So, yes, we need to stop Jordan Love from getting any kind of rhythm going early, and just, again, the psychological warfare of all. The sooner you can make the Packers doubt themselves at home in this game, the better off the Bears are going to be. And the Bears have an advantage to do that, I think, because they're just so different than the Packers have seen. I know the Bears won last year in the finale, but this is two totally different teams, and the Bears especially.
And the Packers have not seen the Bears. They have not played against them. So
and
they
the Bears
don't know
have
what
not
they're
seen
getting.
the Packers either.
That's true.
They haven't seen him
That's
with Micah
true.
Parsons, and they haven't seen
also true.
How this is going to play out this year. So it's exciting, and it's Ben Johnson's first game against the Packers. You can't get much better than this, Nika. Well, this is going to be a battle of wills. In order to win, the Bears must force turnovers. The Packers have the fewest turnovers in the NFL. The Bears force the most turnovers in the NFL. in order to win, we're going to have to win that battle of wills. And it's going to be at their house. So that's a challenge.
It is.
Huge challenge. And the last thing I want to say about Caleb is that he just needs to be better than he's been. I'm not expecting him to go out there and crack 70% all of a sudden this week and for the rest of the weeks going on. I'm not expecting him to just all of a sudden magically figure this all out. And to be fair, it's not just on him. It's on him and the wide receivers and everybody to be on the same page. It's a team game.
Absolutely.
Obviously, he gets the most limelight put on him because he's the quarterback, but everybody needs to step it up. And I think Ben Johnson was really good this week about mentioning it in those terms. He wasn't saying Caleb just needs to get better. He was saying we need to get more out of our passing game as a team. That includes route running. That includes Caleb. So we just need him to be a little bit better than he's been, I feel like, to win this game. Not expecting him to go out there and be 75%, 4 touchdown passes, light the world on fire.
Or carry that full team on his shoulders.
Just protect the ball and beat this team at the line of scrimmage with your running game and take advantage of whatever the Packers give you in the passing game. Caleb Williams needs to be better about taking what the defense gives him. I think that's his biggest problem. Is he wants to get bigger plays than maybe are available. And that's something that comes with maturity.
Sure.
Well, let's take a look at what Vegas is saying about this one, Nika. The matchup odds are not in favor of the Bears, though they are a little bit better than they were against Philadelphia. If I'm remembering correctly, they were an even 7 against the Eagles. We are doing a little bit better at 6.5. Plus 6.5. The Packers, if they win by a touchdown, will cover. If they win by less than a touchdown, if they win by 6 or less, then the Bears will have considered covered when it comes to the betting odds in this one. So that's a pretty big point spread. It didn't do the Eagles any favors when they gave it to them last week against the Bears. So now if you look at the over under on this one, it is at 44.5. And I have a feeling that might even continue to trickle down as the weather continues not to change for Sunday and stay cold. But the poly markets are heavily favored by the Packers this morning. 73 to 27% of the money is going towards Green Bay. Now, this is not all that different from last week again with Philadelphia, I want to point out, where it was 74 to 26, and the Bears got it done. And as you can see, when it comes to the actual money line, 28 cents for the Bears to win is what is actually going to get you a sale right now. So you have to overbid a little bit in order to get that through. I don't know if you know how poly market works, but that was a bad explanation. Meanwhile, the point spread, though, 6.5. That's what we're going with here. Now, 49 cents to 52 cents for Green Bay. So pretty 50-50 on that one. And I just don't see Green Bay winning this one by a touchdown. I'm sorry.
I don't either.
I think it's going to be a lot closer than that. So I would advise you to bet the under on the spread. When it comes to the over-under of the total score, 44.5, I'm taking the under.
Yeah, me too.
I'm taking this to go way under that, actually. Nika.
Yes.
Having taken all this in, having taken in all the injury reports, Kenny's keys to victory, what do you think is going to happen in this one? Any predictions for Sunday's game?
Well, as a true Bear fan, I have to go with the Bears to win this game. And I will go with under 44.5. So let's 24 to 21. Bears win.
And you just went with 45 points. You
24.
You went right over.
24 to 21.
4 plus 1 is 5.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
2 plus 2 is 4. So that's 45. And that is half over.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Damn it.
Would you like to rethink your math?
No, I'm going to stick with it. So it's going to go over.
They're going to go over barely. Okay.
Barely.
Nika's saying that you should bet the over barely.
Barely.
I would not. I am taking the Bears in this one to win 17 to 16.
Oh, you're going with the lower score.
It will be a last-minute field goal off of a Caleb Williams game-winning drive. Number 6. Put it in the books, baby. It's going to happen. Packer fans go home crying and maybe questioning life itself.
I hope they don't cry in that cold weather.
It will stick to your face. If you are going to cry, bring a face mask, bring some
go home and
goggles, maybe. I don't know.
Don't do it outside.
It's going to be cold.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt. I like the Bears in an upset again, just because I feel like it's going to make NFL heads explode all week, and people are going to be like, "What's happening?" You know, like, and I just think it's that kind of season.
I know. Are they finally going to solidify Bears as a legit team by winning this game? If they win this game,
I don't think they'll have a choice.
Oh well,
but they may find their ways and reasons, right?
Yeah, of
It is
course.
the establishment media after all.
They are known to do double downs.
Absolutely, double or nothing.
Exactly.
That's their key
To victory.
mantra. They always say double or nothing, and they'll never owe you anything, and they'll always be hoping to get back to nothing themselves.
That's true.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of the Chicago Bears pregame show on the Kanika Sports Channel. Thank you for joining us as we preview this epic matchup between the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field this Sunday. Whew, I'm starting to get nervous, sweaty just thinking about it. And it's like 72 hours away. Crazy. Well, 48 hours away from kickoff.
Do we have a countdown?
It's
Clock?
the final count. I don't want to get flagged for copyright.
Oh,
No singing, Kenny. No singing. Goodbye, everybody.